General Hospital spoilers. Vaughn tortured to death. Jocelyn returns to Port Charles seeking bloody revenge on Brennan. Soap operas thrive on heartbreak, vengeance, and jaw-dropping reveals, and General Hospital is about to unleash one of its darkest, most devastating arcs yet. Vaughn, a character whose tangled connections in Port Charles made him both loved and feared, has been brutally tortured to death. But the real story begins not with Vaughn's end, but with Jocelyn Jax's explosive return. Once the Golden Girl of Port Charles, Joss comes home transformed, harder, colder, and carrying only one mission: to kill Brennan, the man she blames for Vaughn's suffering and death. This isn't just a revenge arc, it's a saga that will pull in nearly every corner of the canvas, from Sunny's empire to Anna's WSB secrets, from Jason's struggle for redemption to Carly's fear of losing her daughter all over again. Buckle up, because what's coming is nothing short of soap opera warfare. Vaughn's character always carried mystery. Introduced as a shadowy figure tied to international black market operations, Vaughn gradually developed layers that made him far more than a villain. He became a man of blurred morals, someone who carried secrets about Brennan's operation and Sunny's past. But Vaughn's downfall comes in a harrowing sequence of events that shake Port Charles to its core. Kidnapped by Brennan's network, Vaughn is subjected to hours of brutal torture, each blow, each cut a warning to others who might dare cross Brennan. General Hospital spoilers tease that Vaughn's final words aren't screams, but confessions. He reveals names, codes, and a dark truth about Brennan's reach in Port Charles. Before Brennan silences him forever, Vaughn manages to record a fragmented message, a digital breadcrumb that will later fall into Jocelyn's hands. When Vaughn's broken body is discovered, the entire city reels. Curtis, who once trusted Vaughn's intelligence, feels guilt. Anna, who knew Vaughn carried critical information on Brennan, is haunted by her failure to protect him. Jason, who had a wary respect for Vaughn, knows instantly that Brennan's hand is behind this atrocity. But no one is more devastated than Jocelyn Jax. When Jocelyn learns of Vaughn's death, it isn't just grief that consumes her, it's rage. Vaughn wasn't just another figure in her orbit. Behind closed doors, Joss and Vaughn shared an unlikely bond. He had once saved her during a botched mission gone wrong, and though she never admitted it to anyone, Joss owed him her life. Her departure from Port Charles months earlier had been about healing, about carving a life for herself outside of Sunny's shadow. But the news of Vaughn's torture and death pulls her back like a magnet. Only this time, she isn't a college student struggling with identity and love. She's colder, sharper, someone who has seen too much of the world and is no longer afraid to step into the darkness. When Jocelyn steps back into Port Charles, everyone notices the change. Carly sees the steel in her daughter's eyes and fears what it means. Dex, once Jocelyn's anchor, feels a gulf between them, sensing she has come back not for him, but for blood. Trina, her best friend, tries to reach the heart of the girl she once knew, but Joss brushes her off with chilling finality. The new Jocelyn is singularly focused. Find Brennan and kill him. To understand Jocelyn's fury, you have to understand Brennan. Once a charming liaison with a diplomatic smile, Brennan has revealed himself to be a puppet master of global crime. With ties to mercenaries, secret governments, and corrupt businessmen, Brennan is nearly untouchable. Anna and the WSB have tried to take him down, but Brennan always stays one step ahead. Sunny has tried to cut him off at the mob level, but Brennan plays a bigger game. Even Jason, with all his skills, has struggled to pin him down. That's why Jocelyn's vow is so shocking. Everyone else wants Brennan captured, tried, and brought down legally. Joss doesn't. She doesn't want justice. She wants vengeance. And for her, the only way is murder. Before Brennan silenced Vaughn, he underestimated him. Vaughn's final act of defiance was recording pieces of information that pointed directly to Brennan's next moves. When Jocelyn uncovers Vaughn's hidden file, left in a storage locker he once told her about, she realizes he entrusted her, not the authorities, with the truth. The file is messy, fragmented, but it names locations, shipments, and operatives connected to Brennan's network. Most importantly, It reveals one shocking piece of intel. Brennan is planning a major strike in Port Charles itself. This revelation seals Jocelyn's fate. She cannot sit back and let Brennan destroy more lives. Vaughn's death demands vengeance, and Brennan's plans demand immediate action. The emotional heartbeat of this storyline isn't just Joss's vendetta, it's Carly's terror. Carly has already lost so much. She's lived through Sonny's near-death experiences, Jason's presumed deaths, Morgan's tragic loss. Now she sees her daughter spiraling down the same violent path. In one heartbreaking confrontation, Carly pleads, "Jocelyn, this isn't you. Don't let Vaughn's death steal the rest of your life." But Joss's response is chilling. "You don't know what I've seen, Mom. You don't know what I owe him. Vaughn saved me, and now I'll save everyone else by ending Brennan." For Carly, this isn't just about stopping Brennan. It's about saving her daughter from becoming the very thing she hates. Sonny Corinthos, as always, stands in the middle of chaos. Brennan is a direct threat to his empire, his family, and his power. Normally, Sonny would handle it his way, with strategy, force, and calculated violence. But Joss throws everything off balance. Sonny respects her spirit, but fears her recklessness. He knows what vengeance does to a person. And deep down, Sonny can't shake the guilt, because it was his world that exposed Joss to men like Vaughn and Brennan in the first place. Does Sonny step in and stop Joss? Or does he arm her with the tools to finish what she started? This is the moral dilemma that will drive his next moves. If anyone in Port Charles understands Jocelyn's dark path, it's Jason. He has lived that life, defined by vengeance, loyalty, and violence. Jason sees in Joss the same hunger he once carried, and it terrifies him. But it also draws him closer. He knows that simply forbidding her from seeking Brennan won't work. Instead, Jason tries to guide her, teaching her how to control her anger, how to be smart, how to fight without losing herself. Their bond becomes one of the most powerful elements of this storyline. In Joss, Jason sees the chance to rewrite his own mistakes. In Jason, Joss sees the mentor who can help her succeed where Vaughn fell. But there's an unspoken truth hanging over them both. If Joss kills Brennan, she'll cross a line she can never return from. While Jocelyn sharpens her knives, Trina Robinson watches in horror. Their friendship has always been unshakable, but Brennan's shadow threatens to destroy it. Trina begs Joss to walk away, to think of her family, of Spencer's memory, of a future that doesn't involve bloodshed. But Joss, consumed by rage, pushes Trina away. The emotional fallout is devastating. For Trina, losing Jocelyn to the darkness feels like losing Spencer all over again. For Joss, cutting Trina out is the only way to protect her from Brennan's inevitable retaliation. This fracture isn't just about friendship. It's about Jocelyn's transformation into someone almost unrecognizable. Jocelyn isn't the only one plotting. Brennan, aware of Vaughn's final betrayal, realizes that Joss is now a threat. Rather than wait for her to strike, Brennan decides to eliminate her. This sets off a deadly game of cat and mouse. Brennan's operatives stalk Joss through the streets of Port Charles. A near-fatal ambush leaves her wounded, but it only hardens her resolve. Brennan underestimates her because of her age, her past, her connection to Sonny. But what he doesn't realize is that Jocelyn Jacks is every bit as dangerous as the mobsters she grew up around. All roads lead to a final confrontation between Jocelyn and Brennan. In a crumbling warehouse near the docks, a classic General Hospital battleground, Joss finally corners the man who destroyed Vaughn and terrorized her family. The fight is brutal. Brennan mocks her, underestimating her resolve. But Jocelyn proves she's not just out for revenge, she's out for justice of her own kind. Whether she pulls the trigger or not is the question that will hang over this arc. Will Jocelyn become Vaughn's avenger, crossing a line that even Jason fears? Or will someone, Jason, Carly, or even Sonny, arrive in time to stop her from becoming a killer? No matter how the showdown ends, the fallout will be massive. If Joss kills Brennan, she becomes a fugitive, hunted by the law, torn from her family, and forever changed. If Joss spares him, Brennan may still find a way to escape, keeping the threat alive, but Joss saves her soul. If Jason takes the shot for her, Joss is spared from the blood on her hands, but her bond with Jason deepens, and Carly fears the cycle will never end. Either way, Vaughn's death will echo through every corner of Port Charles, and Jocelyn's return will mark the beginning of a new era of danger, vengeance, and transformation. General Hospital spoilers reveal that this storyline is more than just another mob arc. It's about legacy, identity, and the choices that define us. Jocelyn's journey from college girl to Avenger will force every character around her to question their own values. Can vengeance ever heal loss? Can a young woman raised in violence ever truly escape it? Or is Joss destined to become exactly what she hates most? One thing is certain: Vaughn's death is just the beginning, and Jocelyn's return is about to change Port Charles forever.